Welcome and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I am taking you with me on a trip to Germany. For many years, I've seen the Christmas markets in different cities and I've enjoyed them. But I figured why not get a chance to actually go to Germany, which is where a lot of these originated, and get to see it firsthand. So I've been looking for prices for tickets and traveling to Munich was expensive, but I finally found a flight price that was decent. The time was gonna work, and I figured why not go? So this was a solo trip for a few days. So I'm taking you with me as I experience visiting Munich during the holiday season. Maybe you do too, but I love traveling, and this was another way to get another city under my belt and to see a new place. And I especially love solo traveling. Like, this could be a whole topic and a separate video in and of itself. If that's something that would be interesting to you, definitely let me know in the comments and I can make a future video on how I go about traveling, especially when I do solo travel. I was all set for this trip and was heading to the airport, which is when I realized that my flight was gonna be delayed. So there was some weather, and because I had a connecting flight, I was going to miss that second flight. Thankfully, once I got to the airport, I was able to talk to an agent and put me on a different flight. However, this just meant waiting for a much longer time before I actually boarded my first flight. So I was hanging out at the airport, but eventually got on the way, and I was happy that I was still able to get on my flight and not lose time. So without further ado, let's get into it. Once I got to Munich, I was so exhausted. I had an overnight flight to London, and then from London in the morning, I took a flight into Munich. I got to the airport, got situated, figured out where I needed to go. One option I had was to take a cab or train into the city center. I ended up taking a bus. It was just so much easier to have a direct way to get into the city. And so once I got in there, I finally checked into my hotel, got situated, and then headed out to get something to eat and explore my neighborhood a little bit. I like to get oriented and understand where I'll be staying and get a sense of what's where. There was also a grocery store close by, so I was able to pick up a few things. So that was nice. I knew that would at least hold me over for the night, and over the next couple of days, I can get some more things nearby as needed. So that was pretty much it. I did that and went to bed early, make sure I got some rest so I could pick up for the next day. I woke up pretty early, partly due to the jet lag, but also because of all the plans that I had for today. And because of the hotel where I was staying and because I had status there, I got free breakfast. So I got ready, went downstairs to get some breakfast. And then after that, I made a video while I was still in the hotel room. I was actually celebrating a big personal milestone and I wanted to capture that. So you'll see some of the footage from that. And then once I headed out, I first went to the bank to exchange some money. And then I headed out to meet some folks for a walking tour. Now, when I travel, especially if I'm doing it solo, I like to incorporate a walking tour just to at least help get oriented and get a sense of the city before I venture on my own. So that was a fun way to kick off the whole trip. So let's get into day one, my first day in Munich. Hello and good morning from Munich. So I got in yesterday. I had a connecting flight from London, somewhere in the 30s Fahrenheit. So got in, got a bus into the city center, got to my hotel.
It's going to be snowing probably. You're not going to spoil you who's going to win, but you can recognize the local.
The walking tour was a win. I got to see a lot of key places in Munich. First was meeting up at Marienplatz by Mary's Column. And you'll have to forgive me with these German pronunciation. I'm gonna try to do my best. If you know the correct pronunciation, definitely let me know down in the comments. This is where New Town Hall is located, so we got to enjoy the Glockenspiel as it was playing for a little while. I also walked through Old Town, saw lots of shops and different restaurants, walked through Victualian Market as well. And I eventually made it to Frauenkirche, which is the church that has what looks like 2 onions on the top. And aside from enjoying it from the outside, also went inside to take a look. After that was walking around Residenzplatz and taking a look at the actual palace and the courtyard itself. Then the tour wrapped up at Hofbräuhaus, which is a beer hall dating back to the 16th century. So this is very popular with tourists, but whether or not the locals actually go there, that's a different story, that's debatable. It was fun to at least get to experience that and see it. I decided to take a break because I had been on my feet all morning. I stopped at a local Starbucks that was still in that same plaza area and sat down, had a coffee to drink, and then looked at the maps and figured out what my game plan was for the rest of the day. It was at that time that I realized I had lost one of my earrings. So I went back and retraced my steps, which took me to Hofbräuhaus. And I walked around in there where I thought I may have dropped it, only to realize it was still stuck in my scarf and my jacket. And this is when it actually fell into the toilet. So I had to get some help from the employees to get my earring out. So that was a whole adventure in and of itself. But then after that, I headed out for the rest of the day and walked around English Garden. I walked around residence area some more. And then I make my way back to Victualian Market and had some sausage for the evening, had some fries, and eventually went back to a coffee shop close to my hotel, got some hot chocolate, and that was it for the rest of the day. So it was a great first day in Munich, on my feet pretty much the entire day. But I got to see a lot of the city at that time with the walking tour and an experienced tour guide, but I also had a lot of time to venture and explore on my own as well. So all in all, day one in Munich was a win. If you have any questions about this trip or just traveling in general and how I do it, especially when I do solo travel, let me know down in the comments. If there's something of interest to you and you'd like me to make another video, I would love to hear. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, like it, subscribe, and I hope to see you next time in the next video.